And by them stealing the bread from heaven because they're unable to produce that, or not even produce that, they're unable to receive that because of the type of entities that they are. I did pay attention to who they were, which I think God wanted me to see that. That was a valuable lesson that He wanted me to learn, to notice that these individuals can appear to look like they have a lot, but at the end of the day, that they really don't have anything because they don't have the connection when it comes to me. And being that they do not have that connection with God, therefore they will never really receive anything valuable, because anything of value comes from heaven. It comes from up above. It comes from Him. So and I think that's why it was like levels to this, where the first level showed me you can be around family for a very long time and they can shape shift into whatever they entity they want to be in order to keep you in a loop of them producing, of you producing and them feeding off of that, and then giving the glory to somebody who literally does their bidding or down with them as well. And you can work and work and work and never receive any glory, because this is not what I have for you. This is not who I would want you to be working with. This is not how I want things set up for you. So therefore, you will stay in that loop. You will stay as a slave, where you will never get any glory, where you will never get any profit. And I believe He was showing me, like, look at all that you have built because you have been blinded. And it's not even up to your fault. It's the fact that you allow love for individuals who do not love you back, who only see you as a dollar sign, who only sees you as a profit, a profitable margin, something that they can actually receive income from, something that they can actually receive network from, because of the fact of the gifts that I have given to you, because you're my child, because you are royalty, because you come from my lineage. They would never have that bridge, that conduit, that connection, that pipeline. So you will always have, even when you think that you're in your lowest and you think that you have nothing, you have no cover, you have no protection, you have no manna. But first I'm going to show you what I pulled you out of. And it goes right back to with Israel and them wanting to go back to Egypt because the road to the promised land was so tough. It was so exhausting. They didn't understand what was happening. All they can do is literally continue to move forward on faith, because what was being shown to them did not show them that they would have anything and that they left behind so much. So He removed the scale from my eyes to show me that I love these individuals, but they don't love me back. And they can show up in my life in any type of which way, shape, or form that they want to, as long as they're receiving something, and they're receiving it by stealing it, by allowing me to think that what I'm doing it's for the greater good, right? So I learned that individuals can shapeshift in your life, and you can accept that in any type of, you can receive that message any type of way you want to, as in the physical, as in the emotional, as in the spiritual, as in mental. They can find a way to maneuver you and finesse you in any way, shape, or form. In the dream, He showed me physically that they can do that in order to receive what they need to receive from you, which is to take from you in a way that is so delicate that makes you think that you're doing something for everyone. Like, I'm feeding the family. Everything is going into this pot for the family, when technically you're not receiving anything for it. And you come to find out you're the only one that's putting into this pot. You're the only one that's working to make sure that this pot is full. So then and they wasn't even trying to let me leave that area, because it's like, once I was able to come and see, like, wait a minute, this is my idea. I came up with this. I did this. I designed that. I did this. I did that. You have a whole entire, like, gigantic store based off of my designs that I didn't even know about. So by Him showing me that, it was like, I'm going to show you the thieves. I'm going to show you the wicked ones in your life. I'm going to pull the veil back so you can see. The next dream was me leaving that place. As I was leaving that place, I was just like, I'm gonna go shopping to go buy myself some sneakers, which I guess retail therapy. And then to see that there were so many people following me, trying to find out. I'm thinking that they wanted to steal something from me, but maybe perhaps they were trying to steal. I mean, they literally were trying to steal something from me. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh, it has to be the manna, because I didn't take anything from the store, even though I built everything in that store. So you were thinking that I still kind of feel a little cloudy about what it is that they were looking for, but I really feel like it's I really feel like it's the manna. Like it's sad, or they thought that I had cash, but I don't. I just feel like now, as I'm discussing it, it was the manna. I think they think that it's, what did I say? It's VSOP. It's not on me. It's in me. I think that they thought that there was something that I had, which is so odd. But then it makes so much sense, because it's like, if they have no connection to the Father, right, to God, they have no connection, they have no pipeline. All they think is that everything is just materialistic. Everything is what's in a 3D. Like, what you have is here. But at the same time, I feel like they have a great deal of knowledge of things that has to be manifested or created and spiritual in order for it to be transitioned into physical, into material, into matter. So I kept thinking he was looking to see if I had money, but that's not what it was. I kind of still don't know what it is that they were looking for, but they thought that I had something in my bag that I didn't. And so, but now I'm assuming that it's bread from manna. Maybe it's something special that they thought that I had in my hands, that I was carrying in my bag, but I didn't have anything, because I didn't steal anything, because I don't steal. But they didn't want me to leave the first stream, which was the store. And then after I just went and left and went shopping, which I'm like, why would I not have freedom to go and do what I want to do? But that makes so much sense now too. So they still didn't want me to actually leave that. So now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So I love that. So why would it make any sense? Like, why would it, whatever. So once I left there, and oh yeah, it was a man in a wheelchair. I forgot about him. And I don't know if he was, it didn't really seem, it seemed like he was just watching me, not so much as trying to take from me. It was just other men that was really more so trying to get in my bag, grab my bag, snatch my bag, trying to see what I had. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let go. And then once I got to the next scene, which would be the newsstand, that's when they were already there. And that's how I think that they're able to find ways to know what you already have set up for you. Like, they're already able to break into, because they're thieves, because they're low lives, because they only can see, they can only see, they can't see the forest before the trees. Like, they can only see but so far, and that's just their disposition. That's just who they are, because they have no connection to God. So they're able to find ways to try to find out what's your destiny, what is planned for you, what is ahead for you, but it's still covered and protected, because they can't see the way that God has planted that in you. So if you're a seer, if you're a dreamer, you're all these things, like, God already, these are spiritual gifts that come from him. So it's like when they say, oh, look at the baby look just like his father, like, or she looks just like her father, or it's like, these are your characteristic traits. Your spiritual gifts are your characteristic traits that you get from your father. So they don't have that because they don't come from the same father. So there's certain things that they do have because of the fact that their father came from our father. But in the same sense, it's like diluted. And that's why there's needs to learn trickery and all these different things, because it is not natural. It does not come from within. So they can find ways to, hem you up and find ways to try to get ahead of what is in store for you. So to look like, oh, I was here all this time. Like, yeah, this is the place where you were supposed to come. Like, I'm the one for you. Like, I'm supposed to help you. Like, we're connected. We're the same, because it's a need of cloaking that energy to appear to look a certain way. Then they have individuals around them to puff them up. Like, yeah, such and such is about this lifestyle. And, such and such is always doing this. And, this is a good person. And it's like, why do you need all these people and entities and individuals around you to make it seem like you're so great? You wouldn't, your actions would speak louder than your words. You would not need a whole crew of individuals to show that you are such a great individual. It would just be natural. Anybody can just pop in wherever you may be working or wherever you may be at, literally just follow you for a day or a few days and can see and interact with you and see it, because it's like perfume. It's like when somebody's that close in your auric field, they can smell you. They can feel you. Even if they say that they're not, I'm not sensitive to that stuff. We all are. But it's like it's like anytime somebody meets you, like, oh, I just don't want to leave you. And because you know that what's in you dwells in you because it's him. So therefore, that you give off that. They do not. So there's a need for them to cloak their energy. There's a need for them to pretend and shapeshift and do all these tricks just to be shown and seen as if they are what they are, and for others to appear to make it seem like that. So when I got to the actual community, when I woke up, I couldn't even walk. Like, that was the craziest thing. That's how I knew, like, that was very serious. That energy was very serious. And somebody did not want me to be there, because all I kept hearing when I woke up was somebody's like, oh, it's just AI generated. And I'm just like, who is? But then I got to remember, we have entities around us all the time when we're sleeping, just good and evil, just the fight that never ends, like the war that is continuously keep going. And if you're an artist, like I'm an artist, you can look at any AI generated piece and it can be beautiful, but at the same time, it's lacking something that is very valuable in any artwork, and that's soul. When someone creates something, it doesn't matter in what form they create it. If they create it in music, they can create it in art, they can create it in any way, shape, or form. They're given a piece of their halo, a piece of their soul. And not like a piece where it's going to be missing from them, but a piece where, because it builds right back up, but a piece where it's their energy, it's charged with who they are, and it's in the work. That's why when you look at certain work, you're like, oh, this is scary. And, that's the place that they were in when they created that. So AI does not have that, because it's beautiful and it's amazingly creative the way everything is constructed, but there's no soul behind it. There's no physical being. There is no being, and not just that we're not physical, we're spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. We're all these different formats. We're spirit, body, and soul. That's not what's constructing the piece. So when you look at this stuff, it's gorgeous, but it's lacking something, and it's lacking soul. It's lacking spirit. It's lacking the work of man. So, which is really in translation to the work of God. But anywho, so in the dream, that's why I felt like I needed to run through all of that madness, because it's like I go back to the Israelites. Some people just didn't make it there, and I don't know if that was the promised land or if that was a version, but me dropping to my knees, being able to, before I can even get to the community, I feel like of course, everything was just a depiction of what is going on in life and how we have to just keep striving forward and moving forward and staying in faith. But it was beautiful to experience, and it was beautiful to see. And who wouldn't love to live in a beautiful community where you know that your neighbors are literally vibing in the same exact energy as you, where you know that your landlord is protective and loving and nurturing and actually compassionate, where you know that you are protected in your community, that it's beautiful, an amazing place to live? Who would not want that, I don't know. I love you and I'm proud of you and you got this. So just walk by faith and not by sight.